everybody. I'm Dr. Cindy Howard, a chiropractic internist and nutritionist, and your host of the Positively Altered podcast. I'm also an author of my new book. Well, maybe not so new. It's been out for a year, but still new for some of us. Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Chemo Bag. You know, on my journey through Hodgkin's lymphoma, I utilized a whole lot of different therapies, and one of them involved sticking myself with needles. My next guest has actually also stuck me with needles. We're going to tell the story of how that happened. We did know each other by the time that happened, but still, it was an interesting experience. And more importantly, how sticking needles in you can help with things like menopause, fertility, headaches. I don't know, probably almost everything. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick listen to our sponsors because they're really important to me. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to introduce you to my next guest who might even demonstrate needle sticking. It is called something else. We'll share it with you in a moment.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? Welcome back to the Positively Altered podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cindy, and I am excited today to share this time with my dear friend, Dr. Kris Tohtz. Kris!
Hey.
She's so excited. I love that. So Dr. Kris, you know what? You're going to have to help me. I don't even know how long we've known each other, or where we met, but I will tell you that Dr. Kris's background is absolutely unbelievable. Not only as a chiropractic physician, and she graduated, like number one in the class, or 1.5 or half. Were you a half? You were like
probably,
the top half.
Probably a half. Yeah, probably a half.
Okay. She was the top, which I was like somewhere in the middle. So she was so we didn't share the same podium, I'm sure.
But anyways, nerdiness love.
She was in the top half of the class. She's certified in all kinds of techniques. She's been to China for more than 6.5 minutes to learn some amazing things about acupuncture. Yes, that's the word that describes sticking people with needles. And I want to talk a lot about that and a whole bunch of other things, because a lot of people are scared of needles and acupuncture or don't know what it is. And we want to create an environment today to take away that fear. And then I'm hoping we're going to run down some conversations that may or may not be appropriate or unfiltered or, dangerous. We're going to see where this goes, because Kris and I tend to do that when we're together. So Kris, welcome again to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. It's like chat time with your friends. It's great.
It is chat time. How long have we known each other? Do you have any idea?
I was trying to think about this when you had asked me to come on here, and I mean, definitely well over 15 years. I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we met when we were 12, right? I mean, like,
listen, I look amazing for 72. I don't know what you're talking about, 12, but I look
I was like
fabulous
70,
for
girl. Yeah,
72.
70.
72. Yeah, it's the water. I drink a lot of water. It really helps my skin look young.
Mhm.
Well, I do remember though, we were at an event, we were on a panel discussion. I believe it was about women. Yes.
Mhm.
We
It
usually
was
talk
about women and
women.
sex. Yeah. It was great.
Women and sex, or sex and women, which was
Sure.
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter, both. And I was in the middle of a hot flash. I was dripping. I mean, like literally sweating and dripping. And you said, "Oh, I can help you with that. Would you like me to stick some needles in you?" And I went, "Yes, please." And next thing I know, of course, and I'm very familiar because I do acupuncture as well, there was a couple needles sticking out of my ear. And sure enough, a couple minutes pass, and I got way more focused on the women and the sex conversation than the sweat running down my face. So thank you for
Oh,
helping
you're
it
very
go out.
welcome. Because I got to tell you, I mean, I'm sure you've also had this discussion with a lot of your other female patients. And the one thing I will appreciate about our generation is that we're not tolerating any of this noise with menopause at all, right? Like I was on a seminar and a woman, which I thought was genius, was like, "I'm not raw dogging menopause." And I was like, whoa. I was like, but it's true, right? I was like, none of us are willing to put up with it. The hot flashes, the brain, right? Where you get in the brain fog, the weight gain, we're talking about it. And especially like conversations that you and I have had and stuff that we've taught on, like we talk about this stuff. And like if acupuncture is one of those things, if functional nutrition is one of those things, right? And it should really be all of these things, right? That come together. These are the things that we should be bringing to our patients, to our friends, to everybody, because you shouldn't have to suffer just because your periods went away. And I'm just going to say white pants win all the time now. So great.
What? White pants win. I love that. There's a t-shirt that says white pants win.
White pants win. Yeah. I mean, like, this is amazing. Like, I had such heinous periods when I had them that you'd be like, oh, I've got like this week I can wear white pants and that's it. And now I'm like, white pants whenever. So genius.
I love the white pants. I remember a time as I was walking through, and I going through chemotherapy with Hodgkin's pushed me into menopause, and then I pulled myself out, which was probably the dumbest thing I could have ever done. Right? Like, why would you?
Not a good idea at the time when, yeah.
Right? I'm like, no periods, no fun. Periods, no fun. And then I wound up actually having a period for 31 days straight. I remember speaking. I was actually in Florida. I was speaking. My boyfriend was traveling with me. I ran out of pants. And for me to run out of pants is, I go away for 2 days and I pack for like 6 weeks.
We don't travel light. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't ever run out of pants. And I was standing, okay, spoiler alert, this kind of sounds a little gross, right? But like I was standing and speaking, and thank God I was only wearing black pants because I could literally feel as I was talking, right, that the drip down, yes, the inside of the leg, because I speak for more than, 32 minutes at a time. And yet when you've got a really heavy period walking through perimenopause into that end game, sometimes it doesn't matter how many pads you stack inside the underwear, it's going through.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. The period panties, the cup, the pads, all the stuff, right? I remember sneezing, talking to a patient, and I was like, hold please. Out the door, right? And I used to keep same thing, pants, underpants. I used to keep all this extra stuff in my office all the time. I kept a towel in my car, right? It's like when people talk to you about dysfunctional bleeding, you have to ask these questions, right? And ladies, those of you that are listening, none of that is normal. It should not happen, right? But it can happen. And even to the best of us that are trying really hard to take care of ourselves the right way, it still happens.
It's funny. You just said when you sneeze, one of my favorite sayings that that I hear you when you stand up on stage, and it's actually, in regards to incontinence, is the sneeze pee, right? Yeah. The sneeze pee. And I think we've all done that on some level, right? Where you kind of knock your knees and squeeze the inner thighs and just hope it doesn't leak out. Because again,
we secretly do the knack. We don't even know we're doing it, right? You're like, oh, one's coming, and you just cross your leg and you're like, ooh, we good? We good. Okay.
When you do it that dainty, that cute little sneeze that you just pulled off, nobody's going to notice, right? Because it was just so pure what you just did. It's so pure. That little sneeze. little sneeze poo. All right. So,
Yep.
so menopause, so let's just be clear. Menopause can suck for a lot of us, right?
There's so many. Yeah.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you should just stop bleeding and go, oh, it's been a year. That was lovely. I mean, that's really how simple it should be.
I
Yes.
love that when you hear those stories, right? Women was like, I had one hot flash. I think it was a hot flash. I don't know. My periods just stopped. And I was like, you did that correctly. And like, this is usually not the story we get, you know?
No, the rest of us screw it up pretty darn good.
Solid.
Right. Right.
Solid.
So in your opinion, from what you've seen with women then too, if we were the female that went through the mood swings, the cramps, wanting to kill people for no reason, crying, you name it, right? The symptoms, what are the chances we're going to go through menopause in a bad way as well because we weren't balanced in the first place when we were menstruating regularly?
For sure. And a multitude of our mentors had said this to me, and I was trying so hard to get it fixed before it went in. And they were like, whatever problems you have before menopause, you will take with you with menopause, and they will be 10 times harder to get rid of. And I was like, okay. I was like, I've been crazy for years. I was like, this isn't magically going to go away. And like, I think the beauty and wisdom is like, as we age is like really, and just the same thing with you having, going through chemo and everything else. You have these little, like, I have to sit back and reflect on my life and figure out where I was, where do I want to go? Like, what is this? And I had to have a big come to Jesus moment with myself where I was like, I am a workaholic, right? Everybody has an addiction. Pick your favorite. And I like to work. I like to help people. I like to work. Oh, do you need help? Oh, I'll help you move. Sure. You want to take some patients after hours and on the weekend? And like, yes. And I was like, I have a problem. Like, I'm not alcohol. I'm not drugs. I'm not shooting junk up in my arm. Right. But like workaholic. And like that drove my adrenals down. That's screwed up my gut. That's screwed up my hormones. And that's where all that came from. So I was like, I had to slowly, in the wisdom of 50, right? I had to slowly learn how to peel this back where I'm not working as much, but it's equally as fruitful, right? And that's hard, I think. And for women, especially that have kids and family. And, I always make jokes like women's lives great. And I'm really happy I live in this time. But then there's another half of me that's like, we just added on an extra job. That's all we did. I was like, and I'm like, yes, I can do it all. I need a clone, right? And I've made joke about needing a work wife for a long time, but it's completely the case where we just don't,
right?
We don't take time for ourselves.
Yeah. What happened to like the soap operas are on from like 10 to 2 and right? Do you remember that? Like my mother used to, all my
Days
children,
of our lives, right?
Yes. My mother used to watch those. And actually when I was younger, I did too. And I even remember like going away to summer camp. I'd make my mother like record them all on the VHS tape so I could get caught up at the end of the summer. Cause that's what women did, right? We sat and we watched soap operas. Now we are the soap opera.
We are totally the soap opera. Yes. We're not the soap opera, honey. We're the full on telenovela. It's spicier and a little sassier.
Oh my gosh. It sure is. Right. So we've got to figure out how to manage this and we're failing at that too. We're failing at the management.
Yeah. And right? we just need to, it's, and I know it sounds weird, right? It's the having enough quiet time to step away to evaluate these things. Right. And sometimes something smacks you into it. Like, having Hodgkin slapped you into this, right? Like having adrenal fatigue slapped me into it. Right. And I was like, I'm like a Cupid doll. You lay me down, my eyes close, right? And people are like, do you have trouble sleeping? I'm like, no, I can't get enough sleep. Like I sleep all the time, and the one thing that I found that was interesting was, having dysfunctional uterine bleeding and then having to have a hysterectomy was really intriguing to me because I found that people within our community, there was like a lot of shaming that happened with it. Like, well, have you tried? I'm like, I've tried everything for 7 years and I'm done. Like none of it's working anymore. I was like, I'm tired of getting IV iron. Like it went that far, and I was like, why am I robbing Peter to pay Paul? Right. And I think there's some humility in being able to have to step back from that and be like, okay, this is not working.
Right. Right. And there's tons of choices. I know for me, so, my two favorite was a product that contained maca, which helps to balance my hormones. And it was absolutely just perfect for me because it pulls me out and buys me some time. And if I have issues again, I can go back. But really, and this is where I want to dive into with you because I'm super excited about just acupuncture. Like acupuncture works for me.
So
When
good.
I was in school, all right, so this goes back, 472 decades. When I was in school, we studied acupuncture. We used to practice on each other and ourselves, right? So I had to learn how to stick needles in my own body and my friends' bodies. And I don't even like, I mean, I'm good on this side of the needle. I am not good on the receiving side of the needle ever, never, right? But
Now,
what was
any
cool,
needle, like venipuncture or acupuncture?
oh my gosh, when we did venipunctures in school, I had to draw you
Mhm.
first because when you drew me, I was laying on the floor half passed out with an ice pack behind my
Oh,
head.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and if you don't know what you're doing and you're gonna draw my blood, I'm
And
out for
then
the
the
count,
fishing around.
girl. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, 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 nah, no,
Mhm.
no, but you don't pass venipuncture class, right? Stab lab, we used to call it.
We
Stab
called
lab.
it stab lab. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Stab
did the same thing.
Yep, stab lab. So you don't pass unless you do this, right? So I am not a big fan of needles, but really the acupuncture needles are so tiny. They're really virtually painless. I never say 100% because yes, you can feel them going in, but it has made a huge difference. So tell me, why does acupuncture work for me? Why will that work for some women? Not only for men and not even just women, right? For all kinds of crazy conditions. Why does acupuncture work?
Sure. So the thing that I find interesting is, the acupuncture's been getting so much guff for a really long time, because you can't do a double-blind placebo-controlled study while you're still poking someone with a needle, right? Okay, I get it. Is it on the point? Is it not on the point? The dry needling people, for as much as they get a lot of flack, right? But the dry needling people are doing some super solid research on the neurophysiology of what's happening with needling. So kudos to them, because the research is great. If anything, the physical therapy community is really good about research. That's one thing I will say. So, what it does is when you put the needle in the body, it secretes, it causes your body to produce its own endorphins and enkephalins. So they're your natural painkillers. But then it also changes nitric oxide expression. So it changes vasodilation and blood flow rates. So that's one of the reasons that it'll help you turn around and help with hot flashes. But it has a full on effect on the HPTAO, you pick them all, right? Your access for all of your hormones, it comes from brain down. And so, they've done studies where they've had women that have gone in for fertility, and they're doing some specific acupuncture points that they'll use for fertility. And they can see changes in leveling out of how the hormones are produced. So if you or I do this, like, let's say for a fertility patient, and we're having them do fertility awareness method where they're taking their temperature in the morning, right before they wake out of bed. And we have them chart that. If they end up with a pattern that sort of looks like this, they call that a sawtooth pattern. That means that they've got liver qi stagnation. So then there's points we can specifically use for that. And then all of a sudden you see it like undulate a little bit, and then you'll see the full spike when they ovulate, and it looks the way it's supposed to because they're less stressed. It does definitely calm the cortisol response down, which, for menopausal women or for women in fertility is a game changer, right? So when I moved down to Florida, I had to find somebody to service trade with, right? Because there's only so many points I can acupuncture on myself on my front. I need my back done, right? Because the points on the back are really good when you get energetically depleted. Those have a tendency to work better for people with deficiency. So if your patients are really tired, they're really fatigued, or they have local back pain, that also helps them. So yeah, so there's all kinds of research now, thank goodness, that's coming out about this, which is really great.
It is great. I remember I got trained not only in school, but through the International Academy of Medical Acupuncture. And I think I memorized, correct me if I'm wrong, I know there's over 2,000 points in the human body, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
the biggest ones that they study are like 361 major points, but the thought process is there's like 2,000. And there's a consortium that meets in China every 4 years, which I was lucky enough to actually weirdly end up at it. And, in China, they're still like, yay, smoking indoors is a great idea, right? And so I went to this thing and I had to leave after one because I was like, right, coughing my brains out. But they were literally arguing about the minutia of exactly where is stomach 36, right? So and so they go through this stuff yearly, and they'll pick major points to make sure, and they present research, and it was actually really cool to be there. But yeah, it's something I wasn't expecting, but one of my interpreters who was in acupuncture school was like, hey, there's this thing, you want to go to it? And I was like, what? Yeah, so it just turned out great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think I memorized all 2,000 points. There's no way I use anywhere near that,
Oh,
in
no,
practice.
no.
Yeah.
Typically, you'll use about 100 points that we've kind of got crammed up in our brains. Hey, and speaking of, your IAMA, Dr. Amaro just passed away.
Oh no, really?
He did. Yeah, he passed away. It was like March or April of this year. So yeah, he passed away. It's just a
So
bummer.
it is a bummer. Amazing, talented human being. And I'll tell you, so my Dr. Amaro, John Amaro's story is that when I was taking his class, that's who I got the certification through. When I was taking his class, I obviously was stressed even back then because I mistakenly walked into the men's bathroom intending to use the women's bathroom. And there he was standing at the urinal, urinating. And I went, oh, so sorry. And just turned around and walked back out. And he just blew it off like it was no big deal. And, nowadays, I guess you can walk in any bathroom you want, but back then it was pretty taboo to share a bathroom. So
did you see at our alma mater, they switched the bathroom locations? So the men's are on the women's and the women's are on the men's on the first floor. And so like, I almost did it. And you know how many times like I've almost autopiloted it into the wrong bathroom.
Well, in college, I used to use the men's bathroom on purpose because A, it was cleaner and B, it was faster.
Short lines, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go very quickly. We do not urinate quickly.
Mm-mm. Well, there's an art form to peeing quickly. I think you can do it. I do. I think you do. I think it depends on your clothing, right? Like jumpsuits. No, I like, God bless the ladies who look so cute in them. I was like, I'm like, how do you pee in that? That's the first thing I'm like, I don't want to take all my clothes off in the bathroom to pee.
Right. So yeah, so it makes me think of two things. So I actually you're going to love this. I had I think I still own it. I actually had a full body pantyhose to wear under a very tight dress that I once wore to a wedding. And in the crotch of the pantyhose was the slit so that I could just hold it apart and urinate through it and hope I didn't get any on the pantyhose.
Yeah. Genius. Yes. I had a pair of Spanx once. And I was like, oh, that's so you don't have to take these off because, you hold them up and you're like, are these for a toddler? Right. And then you put them on.
But okay, see, I don't understand Spanx. Explain that to me. So we put on Spanx, and I know a woman created this, right? Which is unusual because usually I think it's the men that create, like men created pantyhose, and Victoria's Secret, the secret is it's really a man, it's not a woman, right? So we created this little thing to suck everything in. But I mean, let's talk about like the laws of physics. Like it's got to go somewhere else. Right? So if you suck it lower, it's just going to pop out higher. No? Am I wrong?
Higher or lower? Yeah. So, literally, like I've put them on before, and I was like, number one, I feel like a sausage, right? You tap yourself, and it's like tympanic, and you're like, ping, ping, ping. And I was like, this cannot be good. Which, ladies, it is not. It's not good for your digestive health, and it's not good for your uterus. So get out of your shapewear. Number one, wear clothing that fits you. Embrace your body type. Like, be who you are. It's fine. But yeah, all the time I get waves coming in, fertility, and they're wearing corsets. And I'm like, no. No, you're pushing all your organs in the wrong way. Like, but, so I had one for my wedding because, right, like I had to put them on and I was like, oh, this is the picture of sexy, right? Like a really good bra and Spanx. But it pushed it out of the bottom a little bit because the Spanx came right up underneath my bra and like all that was fine. But I was like, what's all this down here now? I'm like, it does. It just pushes it into a new location.
It's got to go somewhere. And I'll tell you, there is nothing sexy about watching somebody get into their shapewear either.
Like that's like, do you remember jeans in the 90s? You'd be laying down on your bed and like shimmying them up and, be like 2 seconds away from getting the coat hanger to pull them up so you can get better leverage for the zipper. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I've heard because, we're not that old.
Yeah. I think I've actually done that laying on my back trying to get the zipper. I'm pretty sure I've done that. But that's just it. So now you got to go back to the old days, right? Where your partner doesn't see you before you get dressed and they certainly can't see you after you get dressed because like there is just nothing sexy about it.
No, nobody needs to see me wrestle that bear while I'm trying to get out of him.
Right?
No.
So then I remember, okay, so as long as we're being completely just, we're sharing stories here, then I remember having a time, and actually it was probably in my, 40s. So I certainly wasn't young and I don't even think I was drunk where, I used to wear these really long tunic kind of type shirts. So sleeveless, but they'd be long, with a cute pair of boots. And I can't tell you how many times, like I would forget that it was behind me and then I would just go pee on my clothes because I would forget to like move it out of the way for my rear end.
Yes, because it's an asymmetrical hemline and you have pieces that are, yes. Dip them in the toilet, tuck them in your pants. or your underpants the wrong way. Oh yeah, girl, we've all done this. And God bless, hopefully you have like some good female friend that looks at you and was like, come here, honey, pull that out for you.
Yeah.
Before you embarrass the bejesus out of yourself walking around with your shirt tucked in your underpants and your boots.
The good friend takes a picture to post on Instagram before she tells you, so that you get the before and the after. You've got to get a good giggle on it, right? Have to.
I'm so happy social media wasn't around when I was younger.
Right, with the toilet paper hanging out from the back end, and yeah.
Girl, there'd be lots of things. People be like, "Is that you that I saw?" I'd be like, "No, that wasn't me."
No, I don't wear that shade of toilet paper. You've got the wrong woman. For sure. So let's talk fertility. So I don't know about you, but I can't stand the word infertility.
Oh, it makes me nuts. No, I was like, and women come in all the time and I hate that. They're like, oh, I have infertility. I was like, so says who? I was like, there's so many ways. Number one, people can be fertile. I was like, but number two, I was like, and the other thing that bugs me about this is that women mostly take this onus on completely themselves. And I was like, it takes two people to make a child. I was like, whether you're using a donor or whether you're using, your partner's sperm or whatever the case may be, I don't really care how you want to become a parent. It doesn't matter to me. My goal is to make you the healthiest human being, because everybody wants to get pregnant, but then they don't think about the pregnancy. And I was like, oh, no. Now we have to make you healthy enough to get you through said pregnancy. And then wait for it. Take care of that baby when it comes out of you.
Oh, and for the rest of your life.
Correct. Exactly. Right. And I like women like, oh, quit smoking when I get pregnant. And I was like, what are you going to do? What, are you going to breastfeed and smoke at the same time? Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I don't like the term. I will say that at least now, in comparison to where people were about 10 or 15 years ago, people read a lot more now. There's more information available online, and they're a lot more educated about it now, which at least is good. However, a lot of people don't want to do the hard work. Mm-hmm. And that's the hard part. When I have people that come in and they're like, it was always my favorite when I was in Chicago. I used to transfer, I was like 6 blocks away from one of the bigger fertility clinics. And sometimes they'd send me some patients. And, I'd get the phone call like, oh, I'm having a transfer like next week. Can you acupuncture me? I'm like, what am I, a magician? I was like, what have you been doing? This is my 6th transfer, and it's our last harvest of embryos, till I have to stim again. And I was like, so, if I could pull young ladies aside, like in their late teens and early 20s, and been like, look, have your fun, but let's talk about the limits of what that actually means for you in our microplastic 5G world of let's destroy your ovaries slowly, right? Same to the boys, right? Carry that phone in your front pocket, right? Best birth control ever. Put your 5G phone right by your balls. But like legitimately, like if I could pull them aside and be like, look, there could be ramifications for this. And I want you to know, like, these are health markers that you should just keep an eye on so that I mean, Oprah scared the crap out of people when they were like, if you're 30, your ovaries are dying every day and you should go, freeze your eggs and harvest your eggs. And I was like, whoa. Like, that's one end of the extreme. And the other end of the extreme is like, well, I'm 37. I finally found somebody and now I want to have a baby now, right? Because we can get everything else now. Thank you, Uber Eats and everything else. We get everything else now. Why can't I just get pregnant now? Right. And so, right. That's hard. And it's like, it's going to take me easy 4 to 6 months to repair your signaling and the signaling to your ovaries or the signaling to your testes, right? Whatever the case may be. Some of this stuff takes time. Oh, I don't have time.
Right.
So okay. Fertility was challenging.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I was very fortunate. I had my first baby at 33 and, I was dancing on the bar and in the middle of my 3rd drink. And my husband at the time said, let's go home. And that was the end of that. And we weren't even trying. Actually, I was sitting in class going, oh, like nervous because we had sent in the pregnancy test to the lab. We didn't do the, pee and dip thing. And I was waiting for the phone call, and I was in the middle of a 12-hour like continuing education program where I got the news that I was pregnant and went, shit, because we weren't trying,
weren't expecting it. Yeah.
No, which now my daughter's two brothers love because they finally found out that she was a 2 martini accident, which, was a big secret in her family for a couple decades. But when the book comes out and you read that she was a 2 martini accident, the secret's out and the boys are like, hi, you were in an accident. And I'm like, and you guys were planned. And how do you explain that? Like, I actually worked, I chose you and we still have issues.
You're like the good one.
Right. Now I didn't do pregnancy so well, and I certainly didn't do delivery well. And that's, that's a whole nother story, but getting pregnant, at least for me, was really easy. If you had, and I know everybody's different, right? So this isn't a fair question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you could just throw out bits and chunks of like advice to young women, men, couples that want to get pregnant, what are just some things they can be thinking about besides coming in for acupuncture, right? Like that's one technique to help. But to your point, like don't keep your phone next to your testicles. What other things would you just throw out for people to start thinking about not doing or doing in order to help, fertility go easier?
Well, I think a lot of, I will give the Gen Z kids are a little bit better about this, which is kind of good. They're a little more proactive in their health, which is kind of great, actually. I was like, good. Get your baseline blood work done, get your hormones checked, see where things are. Any way that you can optimize your period, ladies, the better off you are, right? So if you are having, you're bleeding and there's no clots and it starts pink and it goes in the red and then it just goes back down the pink and it goes away and there's no cramps and there's no PMS and your boobs aren't tender and you're not bloated and you're not crabby and you're not eating chocolate and pasta together as a meal the week before you're pregnant or the week before your period, you're fine. This is good. These are good markers. But if any of those things are awry, you need to work with somebody that specializes in internal medicine, like Dr. Cindy, or somebody that does functional medicine, so that they can start to unwind why does your period show up that way? Because it shouldn't, right? And birth control pills are not the answer for it, right? I mean, and that's what a lot of young girls, and like, look, don't get me wrong. The revolution of birth control pills is amazing. People are not having unwanted pregnancies if they don't want them. But in Chinese medicine, there's ramifications to birth control pills, and it creates what we call blood stasis in your ovaries. So then we've got to like unwind that when women get off the pill, so that we can take care of their B vitamin deficiency and we can take care of their messy microbiome in their vagina and in their colon. And we can take care of the signaling to their adrenals and all the stuff that gets broken because we've conned them into a low level pregnancy for the last 10 years. Right. So, I'm not saying don't be on the pill. I'm just saying when you are ready to get off the pill, it's not like I'm off the pill, let's go get pregnant. Right. Like do a little pre-work before that. Your period, you should not be gush flooding. You should not have cramps. So if any of that stuff is happening, get your baseline blood work with your functional people, and so that you feel good, right? You shouldn't feel junky half the month, which is what a lot of times people have if they have, painful periods, dysmenorrhea, if they have PMS, right? Any of that stuff. Gentlemen, definitely laptops, phones in the pocket. Ladies, this is you. Phones in your pocket. Phones in your bra. Oh, my fave. The phone in the bra. That comes out with the bra money. The sweaty bra money. Yeah. Phones in your phone. If your phone don't belong here, okay? Yeah. If you read the warnings right on your phone, you're not even supposed to put it up to your head, right? So the 5G and the cell phones and the Michael Pollan said it really well. Like, eat less, mostly plants, right? So it's like, get your above ground plants, eat the rainbow, have your good sourced protein. Like, look, I like bacon just like every other girl, but bacon ain't a staple in my house, right? Bacon's a treat, right? It's meat candy. So bacon's a treat, right? But eat your well-sourced protein, right? And I'm not saying like, I don't occasionally go out and have like some Mexican Coke and some tacos, cause like, tacos. But you have to balance life. Every day is not a party. The alcohol you consume now could have ramifications for you later. And I think there's a lot more research now that's coming out about excessive drinking and binge drinking. And we have a lot of connoisseurs, right? So like a wine connoisseur, and I'm a bourbon connoisseur, and I'm a craft beer connoisseur. And I'm like, you are a functional drunk. You're a functional alcoholic in disguise. Because a hangover is not just a hangover, that's slow level brain death. And nobody thinks about it. Okay. So I would say those are the things, like, 5G booze, eat a better diet.
You make it sound so pretty. Low level death. Just the way you say it sounds sexy.
Low level death.
I love that. I think something though that's really worth pointing out, and I have this experience a lot when I run around teaching. I was actually in Georgia, a handful of weeks ago, and I was going over that. What is, right? Okay, let's hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So, and it was interesting, and I was going over what it is to be normal versus common. And I love those words, right? Like my mother used to call me out of school. I would curl up in the fetal position. She would give me a glass of blackberry brandy. That was my tonic. Yes. When I was 14, 15 years old, and I would lay in bed, like cowering until the cramps went away. And it was normal because lots of women had that. And I want everybody to realize that what Dr. Kris is talking about is very common, but there's nothing normal about it, right? Normal is a period every month, no symptoms. You wipe, there's blood, it's red. Oh, it's here. Almost to the point where you don't know. I mean, we laugh, I have a daughter, and when she was younger, the boys would be like, it's coming, isn't it? And I'd be like, it is. And they're like, she's a bitch. And I'm like, she is. And in 3 days, she won't be. So just don't talk to her for 3 days and it will be fine.
Honey, I was in a sociology study in college, and I called up my brother, and I was like, when you're totally unaware of self, right? I'm like, hey, Bill, I'm like, do I get PMS? And he's like, bitch, I can tell when you're going to have your period over the phone. I was like, okay, noted. Thank you. So I get it.
Yeah. The fact that we almost need a she shed, that's hard to say, a she shed in the backyard, right? To move out for the time period, and yet we think everybody else should move out because it's totally not us. It's us.
It's us. Mm-hmm.
It's us.
Yeah. I owned that. I totally owned it after a while.
Yeah. And it's not our fault, but there's lots that we can do about it. And I think that's the key, right?
I had a beautiful, for about 2 years, I had this super pristine period where I was just like this subtle bearing down sensation in my uterus. And I was like, I think my period's going to show up. And that was it. And then there was like no cramps and there was no PMS. And I was like, I have done it. And then, perimenopause came.
Right. Yeah. But now we're on the back end of this now. Now we worry. Now we go from menopause into the urinary incontinence years with the sneak peek, right?
I'm hoping not to. I mean, like, look, I will say one thing foreign countries do really well that we do not do here is pelvic floor therapy, mandatory after 8 weeks after you give birth, and then letting ladies know that, like, sneeze peeing, common, not normal, right? You shouldn't be afraid of like going to the trampoline park with your kids' school, like stuff like this, where you're like, jumping rope. Yeah. Skipping down the street. Yeah.
I was very fortunate because 3 C-sections and not by choice. I laugh, the kids are like, Mommy, where did I come from? And I'm like, my belly. And they're a whole lot less grossed out than their friends, where the answer is the vaginal canal. Right.
Right.
So we got that benefit, and I'm very fortunate, too much information for my listeners, but good pelvic floor, good strong muscles still intact, really happy there. No, the sneeze pee is not, part of my regular deal. But I will tell you, it is interesting, as I get older, I do think I'm urinating more frequently, which is why we have to talk about the bathroom access, because we travel a lot, right? This came up on, like, with a bunch of friends and on Facebook. And I don't know, we started this trend of like reporting where are the best public bathrooms, because I know a lot of people won't go in public, and that's so unhealthy to hold your urine,
Girl,
for up
not
to
just your
hours.
Well, but yes. Poop.
Yes.
Oh, girl. So you talk about like C-sections out of your belly. I had never had to share a bathroom. I had never had to share a bedroom growing up. Well, we were lucky that way. Cause we had another bathroom, so you could always run to another bathroom in the house. So it was great. So I got to college, and it was like, like a public bathroom. And I was trying to calculate when I could go in there so nobody knew I was pooping. And I gave myself fissures from holding it. Mm-hmm. So like, bad. And so, there's nothing more exciting when you're 19 years old going to a proctologist who's a guy to look at your butt. right? And I was like mortified because I was like, ooh, this is like pooping shards of glass, right? And I'm really convinced like the more you feel and understand things, the more you can explain them to other people. But yeah, like when you gotta go, you gotta go. But airports with good bathrooms, or I know you're a sweet lover of Buc-ee's as well.
Oh my God, I'm part of the cult for Buc-ee's. So for those of you that live in this part of the country, Buc-ee's is this massive gas station that's like, and who even cares about the gas? It's irrelevant. You walk in, right, for this whole experience, and the bathrooms are spot. Like sometimes I actually think that, I mean, my boys still pee on the wall. Explain to me how boys pee. Okay, so somebody help me here, right? Like I wish this was a call-in show. The toilet is so big around. It's pretty big around, right? It's bigger than any penis I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen, my fair share. Okay. Again, not because, well.
Because you're a doctor. I got you, girl. I got you.
Right. Okay. Yeah. There's only so many notches on the bedpost, but seen my fair share of penises, right? The penis on a good day, right? What's the girth? I know they vary in girth, but like, and then you go to the hole that the urine actually excretes through. Not big proportionately compared to the toilet. How is it so difficult to get urine in the toilet?
You ask me. I mean, I am married. Same discussion. And I was like, now, 54-year-old men, prostate, and you can't see anymore. I was like, that's how that's happening.
Wait, hold on though. Hold on. You've got 54 years of experience knowing that the toilet is literally in front of you. You've probably
but when the prostate's swollen, man, and it starts at the dribble that comes down onto the toilet. That's where that happens. Now, I think the boys, right, power splashing, and there's also my I'll tell you a story about my nephew in 2 seconds. He'll murder me if he ever listens to this, but because he's 18 now. but at any rate, I think that's part of it. It's the shake off that ends up everywhere. So my nephew at 3, my brother was teaching him how to pee, and he's a boy, so he's peeing standing up and blah blah blah. And I'm in the bathroom with him because he still needed some help. He had an issue with his little zipper, and I was like, "Yeah, Liam, I got you." So it was like going bathroom, and he's talking to me, and he's talking, and like a new driver, you know how they're like, yeah, he did the same thing, and I was like, nope, in the toilet, and so like in the toilet it went, and I looked at him, and he gets all done, and blah blah blah, and he goes to flush, and I'm like, no, we ain't done. You got to clean up your mess, and he was like, oh, okay. I was like giving him a little Clorox wipe, and he's wiping things down, and I was like, dude, you never pee all over anyone's bathroom, okay? And that was the lesson.
My youngest, who's going to be 18, is still in the house, right? He's got a little bit more time before college. I still have the sign in the bathroom that says, if you pee on the toilet, I will use your toothbrush to clean it up.
Nice.
Yes. Right? It's unbelievable. And I get it. Okay, the shake pee. But now let's talk about this. Because then the boys that don't shake wind up dripping all, and then you got the wet. I mean,
the dirty, weird drip marks on the floor.
Well, the floor, and then on your pants, and then they don't care because then it dries. Okay, when I'm in charge of the world, and I'm going to be one day, I've narrowed this down to 4 hours. I've been thinking about being in charge of the world for a very long time and all the things that I would change. I would actually teach boys to sit and pee. Just tuck that thing in, finish what you're doing, let it drip dry, get up, pull your pants up like the rest of us. And
this is commonplace in Germany. You know that, right?
Is it?
Yes.
They do? They sit and tuck?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We have to learn from the Germans. See, they're onto something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
those
like,
German women obviously would not put up with those little boys and their shenanigans in the bathroom.
No. Yeah. Mm-mm.
They're super smart.
I know.
I might move to Germany after this. You know what? I think I'm going to move to Germany. I'm going to take the boys with me. I think it's a better place.
Well, and maybe it would be enticing if we German style did that with the Japanese toilet seat. I'm just saying, because then it cleans everything and blow dries.
The blow dry is very interesting. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will tell you, and you can probably speak to this too, because I've been to China as well, not quite for as long as you have, but in the public restrooms in China are a trough.
It is. Right? Well, you get squatty potties. And so my favorite is that you can see sometimes on the stall of bathrooms, if it's an American style toilet or a squatty potty, and it has like the squatty potty, it'll have that, and it's got 2 feet on each side. So that's how they demarcate the squatty potty. But I'm going to tell you what, when I was over there, I did not see the hip and back dysfunction that we see here, because people squat.
Yes.
They use the motion, right? And
Yes.
we all know that you don't use it, you lose it, right? So yes. I have a 2-story house still, and my parents come over here and they moved down here 10 years ago, which is why I'm in Florida now. And they have a 1-story house. You should watch them struggle with curves. Well, my guest bedroom's on the 2nd floor. And so I make them walk up and down the stairs. And by day 4, like, they're back at it. They've got it. And I was like, y'all need to do some stairs somewhere.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And the squatting, to your point, I mean, listen, we all know that fecal material comes out more naturally. We also know that squatting to deliver babies is the right way to do it, right?
Yes.
Like, that doctor should be laying underneath you. That doula, which, right? Okay. Right. Should be laying underneath
the midwives do. So do the doulas.
Right. Not the center hike, like the football coming out and you catch and you hope everything goes well.
Right.
Totally against gravity.
Yes.
Totally.
So much so. I mean, I will tell you, I've been to, obviously as a doula, I've been to a bunch of births, and I always love the doctors or the midwives that are like, yeah, whatever position you got, like, you know, like hanging out. If you're kneeling in the bed, you're squatting in the bed, you're holding on the thing, you're squatting on the floor, like, you know, you're holding from the ceiling, you know, it's great. I love it. I'm like, whatever position makes you happy. Because when the doctors are like, no, she has to be in this position. I was like, you chose poorly. Next time you need a new person. After birth, I was like, you need choices in your labor. Like,
it's so true. Oh my gosh, Kris, this is so much fun. You know what? I hate to do this because I just love talking to you. And I think that there's so many more things we can cover. So there will absolutely one day be a part 2. But I got to take a quick break so that we can listen to our sponsors. And then when we come back, I want to rapid fire some questions at you just to see what you come up with. You up for the game?
Genius. Sounds good.
All right, everybody sit tight. Don't go far. Take a quick listen. We'll be right back. This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop. Hit that follow button now and spread the love with Positively Altered. Thanks for coming back. This is the Positively Altered podcast with my friend and my guest, Dr. Kris Tohtz. Kris,
yes.
I just love chatting with you because you know what? Everything is fair game. There's nothing off limits. There's no filter, like just that raw transparency. It's so fun to talk about all these different topics with you.
It's good. This is the way, I don't know. I feel more of this should be done. I think people would be less angry in society if there was, you know, we've disagreed about stuff too, but it's always like respectful social discourse. We've lost the respectful part.
We really have, right? So, okay, well, listen, again, I'm going to be in charge of the world one day. We'll bring it back.
Yes.
Can't wait till that happens.
I will be there to be your right-hand woman.
Soon, I hope. Oh, well, let's just do it together, you know? Do it together.
Done.
Awesome. All right, rapid fire questions. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, if you could change the color of the ocean to anything but blue, what would you change it to?
Ooh. What would offset the fish really well? I'd like it to be clear so I can see all the way through.
That's awesome. Now, coming from Chicago, if you had the power to change the color of snow, what would you do with that?
Oh man. So have you ever gone out at night when it first snows? It was always my favorite time because the snow looks like sparkly little diamonds everywhere, and it's all insulated and it's squeaky when you walk, and like the dog always loved it. I would like to see that level of sparkle all the time. Like Swarovski crystal everywhere.
I love it. I love it. So one of my guests actually said yellow snow to that question. Mm-hmm. I think I like your sparkle answer much better, but
I mean, I have a sparkly problem as is, but you know.
No, me too. But so here's the thing. If it was yellow sparkly, people would probably avoid it and it would stay more pristine because of that whole like yellow snow thing. You know, True. When it's as gorgeous as you're describing, we all want to go out and touch it and we probably ruin the beauty of it.
Yeah, true.
I'd still stick with your answer. I like it, but I'm just, punching holes because it's what I like to do sometimes.
It's all good.
All right. You're going to be an Olympic gold medalist. What sport are you going to pick?
Ooh, what sport do I pick? I mean, I used to dance, but yeah, no. And I love to watch the gymnasts, but also no. I'm like the least sporty person on the face of the planet. Probably something like curling.
But you're going to win the gold medal. Again, this is just a game.
Yeah. I would have to say it's got to be a winter Olympic. Oh, we're going to go skiing. No. We're going to go snowboarding. Yeah.
Snowboarding. Okay. And by the way, I'm not good at the rapid fire, even though I said it was going to be. You're bad at this too. Like they're not quick
terrible.
answers.
So terrible. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's okay. We've got a few more minutes. All right. You know that how they say to you, like, could you pick that one person, dead or alive, that you would love to just sit and share a meal with, to have that conversation with? You know how that question gets asked a lot?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a dumb question. What are you going to eat at that meal with the dead or the alive person?
Oh, all the shit I can't eat on the regular. It's going to be some giant cheesy pasta dish with some really amazing seafood and some greens. Yes, that's what I'm having. Mm-hmm.
See, now there was no thought needed for that one. You got that
Zero.
one.
No, I love food and can talk about food endlessly for hours. Yes. Mm-mm.
What's your favorite meal that you cook, not that you would order?
Oh, that I cook? So I make a really mean polenta with mushroom and chicken with some like sauteed greens.
Is there any food you will not eat?
No, I mean, I don't, by premise, I don't eat gluten and dairy, but it's not that I don't like it. I love it. I'm not a giant fan of offal. If it's prepared well, I'll eat it, which I find humorous that it's called offal, but it's spelled OFFAL.
What is that?
Offal, organ meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just not a giant fan.
Yeah, my grandmother, who I miss dearly, I had a great relationship, but it was very difficult going to Manny's Deli in the city of Chicago with her because she would order tongue.
Manny's. Manny's. Manny's.
Do you remember Manny's? Which I actually think they should have renamed. Like, even though it is tongue, I think we should call it something else if you're going to eat it.
Like, you could use the Spanish name. We'll just call it lengua. It just sounds nice. Because I'll eat me some lengua tacos, but I won't eat tongue tacos.
Right. See, and I would order that on accident, not knowing what it was, if somebody told me it was really good.
Mm-hmm. So tasty.
Yeah, I had that experience in China. It was like, don't ask, just order. And I went,
yeah,
okay,
I picture ordered off menus a lot, and that's how I learned the word spicy.
I love it.
When they were yelling Lee at me, I was like, oh, okay. That's what that means. Ooh, covered in wasabi. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. If you could be a professional actress, dancer, although you did dance, well, let's do it this way. Professional singer, actress, or musician, what would you pick?
Oh, music.
And what would you play?
I would, so very torn. My grandmother was a drummer. And I love the violence of drumming, right? I'm totally unmusically capable. I can't sing. I can't read music. I can't nothing. But I secretly really love the guitar as well. And I rock out.
Well, when you play by yourself, you don't have to be good. That's what I hear.
That's how I sing, and nobody complains.
Me too, girlfriend. Me too. I could clear a room in 8 seconds. It's a talent most people don't have. All right. Last question. You ready? This is a big one. What was your favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
Oh, always just seeing your smiling face and having chats with you because, when we run into each other at seminars and conferences, and I've affectionately referred to as I'm going to call you my fairy god sister because I called you my fairy godmother and you're like, I'm not that old. So I'll call you my fairy god sister because Cindy's helped me get some gigs for sure. But yeah, we don't always have a lot of time to sit and chew the fat because we're hobnobbing and networking and being thankful to our sponsors and helping them. And there's just a lot of duties. So the fact that I said duty, but the fact that we had scheduled time to just hang out and BS is always a pleasure.
Oh my God, I love it. And you know what? That's the good thing about these conversations is I would not hesitate to say, you know what, Kris, I got to go poop. I'll be right back. And I would expect the same from you.
Right. Not be like, hope everything comes out okay.
Right? Mention my name, you'll get a good seat. Okay, there's some bad jokes, right? Bad jokes. All right. So now for everybody listening, how do we follow you, find you, check out what you're doing? And if we're a practitioner, how do we learn acupuncture? Because you are absolutely brilliant. And I want people to take courses and learn how to spread the wealth, using an amazing modality.
Oh, thanks. So we teach, so I have a small team of people that work with me. So I have a business partner, his name's Dr. Gary Eastat, and we founded a company called Fusion Care. And the care stands for chiropractic, acupuncture, and related education, because we're fancy like that. But so it's fusion-care.com, and you can find the links to online classes and live classes for where we're teaching. So I have an upcoming class that's coming out in January in West Palm Beach. So, if you want to escape the cold, my northern friends, and come down and study acupuncture and go to the beach. And, if there's water, there's alligators. So enjoy. But if you want to come down here, we've got classes there, but we've got classes all over I would say all over the US, but we all know, like, we don't get super far west because they don't let us poke people with needles. But yeah, so we've got classes for that. You can find me there. I am on Instagram. As Dr. Kris Tohtz, I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn for the professional people, which as chiropractors, we totally underutilize. But yeah, so I'm on most of the social. I mean, I know I should be on TikTok, but I just can't seem to do it.
Oh, I made the leap. I'm going to talk you into it. It's like horribly weird, good. I did one where my kids punked me and I got like 8 likes and I was so excited, and then there's people out there who are like, I have like 4 million likes. And I'm like, oh, I got 8. I was super happy with 8. I thought it was a big accomplishment.
Yes.
If anybody's out there listening, if you could go on TikTok and just like me, so maybe I could get up to like, I don't know, 30 or 40, that would be great for my self-esteem.
Genius. Let's do that. I mean, I'm slowly but surely trying to. I have to send you a picture, by the way, because I brought the book abroad.
I can't wait. So I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Next time we're together, because I know it'll be sometime soon, we're going to do a TikTok together. We'll post it on social media, and we'll see if we can get 9 likes. Because I think if I bring you in, I can get a few more than I could do by myself. I do.
Genius. I'm all for it. All right. I'll start working on my followers so we can increase our base. And yeah, this is how this works. That's
I think you're gonna increase my following. I think you're a huge asset. I'm gonna take advantage of that. I can't wait.
Oh, back at you, girl. I am merely a mirror.
I love it. All right, you guys out there, I have got to tell you that if you want to follow me, check me out at drsindyspeaks.com. You can go to my website and connect for my not so daily newsletter, which means we won't bombard you every day, but we'll let you know what's going on. The book, Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Chemo Bag, you can find on Amazon. You can read it. You can take it on vacation with you and you can listen to it as well. And, just check out where I'm going to be, because wherever I am, Dr. Kris Tohtz will probably be at some point as well. I have to tell you what my favorite thing about the podcast is, besides the fact that I just absolutely adore you and consider you a really great friend. I just love the no filter. We can go anywhere or talk about anything. This had absolutely nothing to do with what our original plan was. And I absolutely love that we can just go and see where it morphs. And yet, you get the signal from the producer that like you're going too long. So that's how I know it was super fun, because I didn't want to get rid of you quickly. I wanted to keep you around. And that's what I enjoyed most about the podcast. Dr. Kris Tohtz, thank you for all your time today. Love you tons. And for everybody out there, I hope this conversation has left you positively altered.